Yeah.
One of these days.
Jeff, I have to get you here.
Four sisters go for the winter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you've already been out, you live there.
We have a painting that we would like to give to Ling Bloomston, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of why this painting was chosen. My mother moved here in about 2003, and she came from a condo and she needed more social outlet, more friends, and she came and she already knew Florence Price, if any of you know that name, and she knew Betty Burtness and then some others as well, and so she had a wonderful time, and we always were amazed because she got here and she got the job of delivering newspapers. And so she would go around and deliver newspapers to the people on her floor. And then she punched tickets, and she was very proud of knowing that she knew everybody in the place and knew their names because she punched tickets. She went to every birthday gathering, you know, the cake and ice cream thing every month. So she had quite an involvement, and it was fun for her to be here. As she got older, some of those things went away. And she loved visitors, though. She loved people who came to see her. Some of you went to see her in her place, and she visited you in your place. But the special visitors that she liked were when her children and her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren came. And for those of you who are a little bit older, she had a secret in making her grandchildren and great-grandchildren very happy to come and see her. And that was she had M&Ms and mints and peanuts. And so all of us who came, we had something. And I remember the little kids, they would lean over to us and they'd say, "Can I have some M&Ms?" And I know my grandchildren, they remembered that this was the grandma who had, or great-grandma who had M&Ms, and that was always a special thing. But the thing that I remember too is that she used to tell stories to them, stories of Norway, stories of Madagascar where she grew up. And the kids were very good at listening because she was a master storyteller. And it was fun to listen to her share some of the stories of when she was growing up. The kids loved when she talked about lemurs from Madagascar coming and being on her shoulder. And they just couldn't believe these lemurs doing that. She told stories about times when they visited relatives in Norway and how special that was. She told about the time when they got an octopus in the Indian Ocean, and they brought it to the cook, and the cook prepared it for them, and they ate it. It was real tough, she said. But they loved those stories. One of my favorite stories is when she told about going home from Madagascar on furlough. Every 6 years, they went on the ship were a lot of kids from Norway, from Germany, from France, and they all spoke their own languages. And my mother, of course, spoke English the best, but they had to get a common language, and that common language was Malagasy, the language of Madagascar. So all of these white kids going home to Germany, France, Norway, and America were speaking Malagasy to each other to communicate. So anyway, stories were very important to my mother. And so we chose, my sister mainly, but we chose a painting about a grandmother who was telling a story to her grandchildren. Or at least this is how I imagine it. This is a work by Adolf Tiedemann, And he was painting in Norway back in the 1850s. And the original painting is about 160 years old and hangs in the Royal Palace in Oslo, Norway. So the king and queen of Norway can see it every day as they walk by. And Tiedemann painted this painting of a grandmother holding a bridal crown. Now, I imagine that this is probably still being done today, where women in Norway are wearing these crowns. But back in 1850, this was common. This was done all of the time, where families would have crowns, and they would be 300 years old, 400 years old. The wealthy people would have crowns that had diamonds and gold in them, and the poorer people would just have a crown that was made out of metal. So it was a common tradition for the women to wear the bridal crown. And this grandmother is holding up her bridal crown. And can you see the oldest daughter there? Where is she looking? Can you see that well enough? Where is that oldest daughter looking? I think at the crown, and I'm imagining this girl is about how old do you think? Maybe 11, 12, 13. And in Norway back in 1850s, they got married at 14, 15, 16 years old. And I think that girl is saying, or the grandmother was saying, soon you will be wearing this crown. And the girl is just looking like, I'm going to be wearing this crown at my wedding. The two younger kids, where are they looking? They're looking at grandma, mainly. The boy is kind of looking halfway in between. But the other ones are looking at grandma, and the little girl has her mouth open like, wow, I can't believe this. You know, it's kind of a neat thing that Tiedemann, the artist, drew into this. So we wanted to donate this so that you could remember the stories, not only by my mother Swanhild, but also the stories that you tell to your grandchildren, or to your nieces and nephews, or to the people that come and visit you. Those stories are really important in continuing on our traditions. And we are so pleased to Jennifer and to Jeff and to the others who allowed us to have this be hung in this place. I think it's a perfect setting. And I don't know, Jeff, do you want to come up and you can hang it on the wall? You can hang it on the wall, or I don't know if you're skilled at that. My wife was trying to teach me how to do it, but maybe I'll help you here. Or can you see it?
I think so.
Okay. And don't drop it.
That's pressure.
Oh.
I've got one crooked eye.
Is that straight? Yeah.
And then Renee did a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
And I gave Renee because that's great.
That
I
is
gave
good.
Renee
This is a good place to be.
Yep.
Morning. Oh, good. No, thanks.
Let's get a close up.
More food here.
Yeah, that's good.
We bought some Norwegian stuff. We have a lot of that. So, Jennifer had some with her all gone, and she has one.
You just let me know.
Are there any more, Marjorie, are there any more of those papers?
No.
Oh, there they are. Jennifer, I guess you, maybe we should get started.
Renee?
Somebody has to take care of it.
The motley crew back here. The groupies.
The groupies.
You're the groupies, yep. The groupies. And this is the main man who saved his mom by doing all the work and getting the paintings here. Good job, Eric. Fine job.
Oh, I'm Mark Thompson. Oh, yeah?
I'm filming you only for Mark's sister who couldn't be here. So this is Joe and Jane, and they knew your parents, knew Connie and Swanee back in Emmanuel days. And they will eventually be moving in together at the Heritage. So thank you for coming. And of course, here's Bernice. Bernice, do you have anything to say to Beverly? Bernice? Do you have anything to say to
sorry.
Beverly who couldn't be here?
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
In memory of your mom.
Yes, thank you for being here.
Is it gonna work on that
Yes.
nail?
Yeah.
It will, okay.
It has a wire.
If I have it in the middle.
Slide it to the left, to the left.
Have you ever hung pictures?
It was nice there.
Is that,
Yay.
that looks straight? All right, so tell me about this painting.
Well, we bought it at the Sons of Norway. We were very involved with Ingebrigtsen's store and Mindekirken, the Norwegian church.
Uh-huh.
So that's where we picked that up.
So you have it hanging,
We have it hanging in our apartment.
oh, in your apartment?
Yeah, and, well, we had it down now, but we're gonna move it back up.
And then when did you get it? How many years ago?
Oh, how many years ago? Several years ago,
And why did you choose that particular?
because we liked it.
Because you liked it. I see.
We liked it.
And do you remember why you liked it? Or?
No, and that's it. Well, I think it's because Grandma maybe, you know.
Is that straight? That looks straight?